Morning. Today I'd like to show you the grazing system we use to manage our small herd of Dexter cows. The purpose of putting a system in place, and I guess the aim of our total grazing system, is to manage the small herd of 7 Dexter cows and a flock of about 15 sheep on 20 acres without putting sort of any hay or grain or any other inputs into them at all, and manage it totally off grazing. On the farm here we've got 3 larger paddocks all in a row that run about 150 metres across that way. Pan back to the right here, there's a smaller paddock there which is about 150 metres wide, 150 long by 150 wide. Then the one I'm standing in, again 150 wide, it's about 200 long down that way, and then on the far side of that is another one, again 150 wide and probably 250 long. So what I do is I divide that up into strips, and I use this temporary single line fencing with the pigtail step-in posts. Just like that. I think they make them for horses, and I'm using the polybraid wire, and I divide it up into strips. So this strip here on the left is the first one in this paddock. You can see the fixed barbed wire fence there on the left. I also have a run of electric on the inside of it, and it goes right around the full exterior of this paddock. But that's about 25 metres long, 25 metres wide by 200 long, and I leave them in there for about 7 days. You can see here, I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but on the left of the line is where they've been for 7 days, and then on the right, the longer grass than that, where they're about to go into shortly. They're all just heading up for the shade, believe it or not. This is the reel I use. It's a geared reel, so I think like one turn of that handle, it spins around 3 times. It lets you pull the line in quick and not get tangled when you're reeling it out and that. What I'll do, so when I do this move, what I'll do is I'll get from this post up here. As you can see, the water trough's down that way. So this paddock only has the one water trough. It's a 400 litre one over there. And I'll create like a dog leg, like an L shape, and run this, pull that geared reel off that fence, come up to where this post is, and run that reel in a straight line back to that fence over there. So they'll have access to the second strip, but also to the water. There's a single step-in post that's in between here and there. I'll put up against this one as a brace. There'll be some tension on that with the line changing directions. You've got to be careful, so especially where we are at, shade is very important. So I always try and have shade, trees, etc. in all the places where the cattle are. I'm on the far side of that second strip now. Again, it's about 20-25 metres from the first strip, as you can see over there. And they'll come in and spend another 7 days in here. And what I'll do, cows have all gone to the shade there for lunch. I stuffed around with the routine a bit today. They generally watch me set up the second paddock, walk over, and I let them in once I've got that set up. But today I started filming videos, which thrown the routine out, and they're smarter than me. They've gone to stand in the shade till I'm done. But I guess the question is why set up these strips of land to do the rotational grazing and not let them have access to the whole place? In terms of actual work, that'd be much easier. Once a month I could move them from paddock to paddock and leave them to their own devices. But there's a few things we need to manage here. What I want to do here is get through the whole year without giving them any hay or any other food inputs. So in order to do that, I need to set up these strips so I can control exactly how and when and where they're eating and how much they're eating. The farm here is in a tropical environment, meaning that the grass, well, it's warm enough all year round here for grass to grow, So basically the grass grows when it rains, which here is in the summer. So what my aim is to get enough grass to grow and in the bank to get them through the winter when it slows down. In a perfect world, what I'd do is daily moves, and I'd set them up in probably, in this situation, in square paddocks, probably 25 by 25, and then move them every day or even twice a day. But because I work off the farm doing shift work, I'm not here every day. So what I've worked out is a good balance for me is 7-day moves with these strips, 25 long by about 150 wide. What I want to do now is show you how the move actually works. So I grabbed that, unhooked that reel off the fence there, and walk back towards me. And usually what happens is the cows are ready to go, lined up, and they punch through into the new area. However, because I've been stuffing around filming this video, they've decided to sit up there in the shade, so it may not work as well. So what I'll do anyway is I'll open it up and I'll come up and chase them through to the next one. What I can't do though is set it up finally, because like this line here is going to be moved from that post directly there in front in a straight line back over to the right hand side of that trough, which would block me in here. So I'll just push them up this way. I'm going to try and get them up now to push them through to that next paddock, walk them up the far end. But it shows you they're not starving, and if they were hungry they'd be up there waiting for me. But I'll try and push them down the far end now and show you how I can put them through the next paddock. So I've got them up off their bums, and I think they're switched back on again. I'll let them through the next paddock. Right, so they figured it out, and they'll go through on their own into the next paddock. What this also does is lets me have a good look at them. See if there's any injuries or illnesses or whatever. They all have to walk past me here to get through the next paddock. But again, they're not starving, otherwise they'd be straight in there. I'll give them a push. There we go. So they're into that next strip now, and they'll be there for the next 7 days. What I'll do now is set up this this laneway here back to their water, and I'll show you that when I'm done. So I finished off the paddock setup now. I've moved that reel 90 degrees across that strip, giving the cows access to that water still. But up there, they then have access to the second 20 metre wide strip that goes from that corner there and runs down the length of the paddock. So the 90-degree corner here is, I guess, the weakness in the system. So I just take the single step-in post that was in between here and the fence, and I'll then use that as a brace. So I can do that, put a little bit of tension on that 90-degree turn. So this line isn't as tight as what it used to be because of that reason, or as tight as that far line. However, this grass, I guess, isn't as attractive to them. They've been eating here for a week, so there won't be as much pressure on it. If there is going to be any pressure, it'll be on the next fence as they eat this grass down to get into the next paddock over there. You can see they've got access to shade and water down there. The last thing I then do is I come in here and I mow the strip that they've just come off, knocks down any weeds, breaks up the cow pats, and the grass can start again without any competition. I'll probably show you a video of that once I've finished mowing it. This is the paddock next over. Sheep are in it at the moment. Because I haven't got much shade in this first bit, I leave that gate open over there so they can hide under the shade. But you see, same principle applies with the sheep, except I put a second line halfway up those step-in posts. stop them sneaking underneath. But I'll do a video on that again another day on the how the sheep work. Thought I'd finish off the day with a quick shot, just showing. I'll give it a mow. That's what it'll look like. Mowed that area down there as well.